The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Friday, the 25th day of March, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sherry Vanderpool, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sherry, it's your favorite day of the week.
It is, as I hop along, but it's okay. My shoulders work.
The shoulders work. That means we have to see the Sherry shake. All right.
Yeah.
Sherry shake. Is that how you do it? Sherry
Get
shake?
it? Well, that looks like a short shake, but a sherry shake is a little bit more length in the shoulders, Jamal.
Did you just call the Hartman shake the short shake?
Well, it was like, but you gotta put, some.
Yeah. Thankfully, we have important people joining the show today, and don't have to worry about your insults. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today to end the traditional work week as Keishae Robinson stops by to discuss one of my favorite topics, folks. Good dental health. You know what, Sherry? You know why I love good dental health? Because it's, who I hope is watching and tuned into the show? It's the brothers and sisters who don't have it, but yet they believe they do. Psychologically, something tells them they do. So they like to talk so close to my face.
Oh.
And I'm just like,
you don't smell that?
You gotta smell what I smell. Seriously. But Sherry.
Yes.
Serious question. Social work is psychology. Why do people with the worst dental hygiene like to be so close to you?
It's just they don't recognize boundaries and spacing, and they most likely want to get their point across to you, so they figure, let's come closer instead of just.
But your dental hygiene is distracting me. It's not making me pay closer attention. It's distracting.
Well, I'm gonna be giving, my dental hygienist is in the audience, at least she usually is, and so I got to give a good report.
All right, no worries. Well, I'm looking forward to the conversation with Keishae, because number one, seeing a young Black woman doing this as a career is impressive in Bermuda. But also, I just happened to come across a tweet. The fact that a young Black woman is using Twitter to actually promote dental health when she can, I love that. So I'm really looking forward to the conversation. The daily play is, well, Sherry's going to try to stump me. And Sherry, one of your questions last week was who was the first woman's Secretary of State? And I didn't know the answer. And apparently she passed away this week.
Really?
Somebody Albright or something?
Yes. Honestly.
Albright. She passed away this week. So Sherry, I learned from you last week who that was. And within a few days, she had passed away. That's history.
Wow, that's sad. Yeah.
It's very sad. But the thing is, I only knew that because the question you asked me last week. Moral of the story, folks, the daily play is not just about making each other look silly. It is actually an opportunity for us to learn.
Exactly. Well, that's good, Jamal, that you learned that. But, my condolences. Oh, wow.
Sure. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. I think they like this Sherry Shuffle, but I'm not quite sure.
Yes, damn it.
I don't know what Terry laughing. I don't know what Terry laughing at now. I don't know. That's not funny. That's not funny. We've got some respect for Keishae out there. Represent for us now, Keishae.
There's my hygienist.
Oh, Angeline. All right.
Yes, Angeline. Look, I'm doing good.
So look,
Whatever.
what?
I heard you.
We have an important conversation to have. Enough about mighty. I lost, but that's not today's show. We're talking about we yesterday we spoke about the education authority, and I think this is another important conversation that our community needs to have a say about. Just recently, and I'm just going to go to our good friends over at the Royal Gazette here. They have a title: Court of Appeals upholds abolition of municipalities. Plans to turn the corporations of Hamilton and St. George's into unelected quengos are likely to go ahead after the Court of Appeal rejected an appeal by City Hall. The Corporation of Hamilton launched legal action to block the move late last year and claimed that the Municipalities Amendment Act 2019 was unconstitutional. The local authority lost the case but filed an appeal last November. Now, folks, what does this mean? Well, to me, it simply means that the government, and notice I'm not going to say the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party, it makes it seem like the government, whichever that government is of the day, will now be able to appoint people in the municipalities. Now, I'm not trying to be rude.
But that means you are. Go ahead.
However, when you see what happens when governments get their hands on additional assets, I'm not quite sure this is in the interest of the corporations, the municipalities, the people of Bermuda, the businesses. I'm not quite sure, based on track record, this is in the best interest. So the question of the morning is, what are your thoughts on the government taking over the corporations? What are your thoughts? For me, what I'd like to see, and what I think the corporation does an excellent job of doing, well, the Corporation of Hamilton at least, is promoting the city as a destination to visit. I think they do an amazing job, and they should be doing it, because I think too much of an emphasis on promoting things in Bermuda is on the actual Bermuda Tourism Authority. I haven't lived outside of Bermuda. You see different towns and cities and chambers doing so many things to promote stuff to locals and people abroad. So I think I love what they do. Will that change? I don't know. But I think I speak for many, and I don't like to speak for others, when I say, based on the track record of recent governments, I'm not quite sure this is in the best interest of the people. But I could be wrong. I just know what's going on the outside.
When I read the article, Jamal, because I was like, what? Like, what is Jamal sending me to read? And then I'm reading it and I was like, okay, this feels like a whole monopoly situation, like that, like the government just bought the hotels, on the board, and that they are taking more of ownership of the properties around them. And then the more that I read, I was like, well, how is this good for everybody else? And then I read some more, and she said that they can appoint whomever they want to certain positions. Again, how is that in the best interest? Are we gonna have the same concerns that we have with MPs in the sense of, do we have sufficient background information in certain areas? Are they gonna step up to the plate and do the job that's being asked to? Or are we gonna have a personal issue in the Royal Gazette about what it is that they're doing at the Corporation of Hamilton? You see where I'm going?
Well, I think it's a skin in the game thing. I think it's a skin in the game. So, for instance, what if I'm a business in Hamilton, right? And someone, I'm going to use Jamal and Sherry, are appointed as councilors or something in the city of Hamilton, I would probably rightfully be upset with that, Sherry, because Jamal and Sherry have no interest. Like, no, we don't own any businesses. We don't live there. In the city. We probably don't even shop in the city or eat in the city, really. So to those businesses or people in the city of Hamilton, they would be within their right to say, no, this is an issue. Why are people who have no interest or skin in the game? And I think that's the problem people may have with politics or politicians.
As well, it's what type of skin in the game you're talking about, because there's obviously some kickback somewhere. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, kickbacks, you're not taking any risk if you're getting kickbacks. Skin in the game, where's the risk you're taking? I mean, I can understand why people would oppose this bill. Like I can completely understand why people would oppose government taking over the corporations. And again, if you look at the track record of past governments, like in terms of the assets, how they
Mm,
use additional assets, people would be within their rights to believe they haven't used the assets in the best interest of the people.
yeah.
Sam Cat Place, she says, you already know how I feel about money and the government getting their hands on it. It's a way of controlling and gaining assets that they, in my opinion, will spoil or ruin. Friends and family here again. Shaking my head. And I
Yeah.
think that's a legit concern. I think that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm just like, I'm not. I don't think we're here trying to accuse the government of what it's gonna be, but based on recent history, this is challenging. It's hard to wrap your head around that. Teresa Stewart for you, Sherry.
Hold on. Okay. The smaller teams seem to work better, in my opinion, because they are focused on their specific area.
Agreed, Terry. And she
Hmm.
goes on to say they also move faster and pivot as a small team. Government
Yeah.
equals red tape. Oh, tell me about it.
Red tape, length of time,
Hmm.
months of responses.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I
What
agree, Terry.
What are your thoughts on the government taking over the corporations? That is your question. Nicole Walker says, I think the government has a wider agenda by taking the corporations, their assets, and appointing whomever they like. They are trying to do the same thing with parish councils and their assets. And again, I don't know what that agenda is. And I think it would only be fair if the government shared with the community.
Yeah.
Why? Is it going to be? I mean, maybe they have, and there's a more meetings that they have where they want us to come places where we're just not going. Again, you come to the doorstep and you want our vote, come to us to share everything else. But I get it. I get the
Mhm.
concerns. I mean, what is the overall plan? What are you? Where are we trying to go with this? What's
Mhm.
the end goal? Laverne Tucker says, no, 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 absolutely not. Leave them alone. Government do not need to control these two entities. And Michelle White goes on to say, I take great exception to not having an opportunity to be able to participate in City Hall. I am a new business and was looking forward to do so. So again, this is
Mm.
someone with skin in the game, then, right? This is someone with skin in the game. And so if you're a business in the area and that's being taken away from you,
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure that it sounds fair. But then the government's probably saying, but it hasn't been fair the way it's been working all these years either.
Well, let me throw a little bit of spin to it. Okay, City of Hamilton seems to be doing, pretty well for themselves. Would this be beneficial to St. George's, who's indicated that, these past few months they've been struggling in regards to persons coming, struggling in regards to having money that is boosting to boost their economy on that end of the island. Would that be beneficial to St. George's?
Don't honestly, I don't think the St. George's folks are in favor of the
Okay.
government taking over.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they would disagree that it be in their best interest. But I think we would need to see the plans that the government has with the municipalities to kind of understand whether it would be in their favor. To me, I think the only thing that the city of Hamilton does better than the city of St. George's is market, promote, engage.
Yeah.
St. George's, in my opinion, um, I love St. George's, but in truth, and we've had the folks from the corporation on this show before within the last year, I just think that they can learn a thing or two, from the way the city of Hamilton operates. There's
Mm-hmm.
no reason that you can't have a smaller version of movie night on Tiger Bay or down in doing
Scavenger hunt.
breakfasts in the square like I did with a group of 20 from the US some years ago. There's so many creative things. I think people just think that, oh, you can market and people will come, like awareness. All marketing does is create awareness. What's the what's the draw though? Like you have
Mm-hmm.
to get creative. If you want people, look, Sherry and I live in the South, right? In the South, it's not like everything's just around this corner. You got to go, like, take a drive. Like
Yeah.
25, 30-minute drive is short in the US, like
Right.
extremely short. In Bermuda, that's a car ride. My point is, St. George's, you got to understand that you're considered far to some people, right? And so you have to draw them there, not just for dinner, but what can they do after dinner? What can they
Mm-hmm.
do prior to dinner? That you have to create experience. I'm no expert, but it's worked for me when I've tried different things.
Yeah. And and what are you getting for your money? What
Oh,
is, yeah, what is the value? I threw a party one time, charged people $10. My mom's like, well, what are they getting for that, Sherry? I was like,
Mm.
really, mama? But it's the mindset, right?
Value.
She works for herself. Her husband works for
Mhm.
herself. It's the mindset. I was just like, it's a party.
Girls. Misha Fabula says at one of their meet and greets, it was mentioned that integrating the sewage system was one of the goals. Corporation of Hamilton system is currently separate. And
Mm.
again, that probably would make more environmental sense, right? I mean, I'm not an environmentalist, but I mean, it seems so.
Well,
But
you're a little bit.
but
You
but, but,
recycle.
but Terry, she has a good question though. Do they need to take it over just to find a way to integrate systems? Do they?
No, they can be a special committee that advise,
Mm-hmm.
not
Not take over.
direct.
Yeah. Sam Cat Place, she says more waterfront access as well. Think about it. Sharing the agenda is not a strong point of the government. So we get our popcorn and rum to see this unfold. I see what kind of night you're expecting to watch this one, Sam Cat Place. Teresa says road trenching is going to be an issue for a while though. So folks,
Yeah.
Michelle White, she says the general consensus is that it's all about the money. Transparency is key. No one has said why this is necessary other than trying to take control from the white business history and now take mine.
Listen, I had that thought, Michelle, but I was keeping it here because I said I wanted to be, but I thought the same. I did.
Well, we can't ignore the history of racism in the city of Hamilton. We
Yeah.
can't ignore that traditionally the businesses and buildings have been owned by white business people and to some oligarchs.
Hmm.
If my hope is that it's not just based on that. I hope it's based on a plan that really can take Bermuda forward as a destination, not just for visitors, but for
Hmm.
residents, for businesses. I would love to find out, and I guess I will reach out to the government after today's show to get an idea of what their plan is. Is there somewhere we can see it? Because at least with tourism, for instance, there's a plan that public you can go on their website and find like a
Yeah.
2025, 27, whatever it is, a plan. And plans evolve, folks. Plans evolve. Like we're not still doing today when we started the Daily Hour in May of 2020 what we were doing then. So
Hmm.
plans evolve, but I think it would be right. And I think all of us, people tuned into this show, whether you live in Dockyard or Southampton or maybe Hamilton Parish, I think we all have that right to want to know, because who knows, just because you don't live in the area, maybe one day you want to have a business in the area,
Yeah.
and whatever they decide to do once they take over can impact you. But what are your thoughts on the government taking over the corporations? That is the question. Michelle White says, what happened to collaboration? We are one country, for crying out loud. But Michelle White, the government says this is collaboration, bringing everything in
Hmm.
house so that we can all work together. That's their argument, right?
That's the argument, and I still agree with transparency. Transparency is key. It hasn't been that moving forward. It hasn't been that from behind. We always seem to find out what is the back end later on when it's being presented to us as one thing, and then it turns out to be another. If we are transparent and we can see what's going on, then what can you say?
You expecting transparency from politicians is like expecting Shamu to walk down Fifth Avenue. It's just not gonna happen. Like,
One can hope, Jamal. One can hope.
yeah, okay. Well, when I see Shamu walking down Fifth Avenue, I'll be like, Sherry, there's hope. Politicians can be transparent. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
It's annoying.
Michelle White says, no, it ain't. Takeover is not collaboration. Russia versus Ukraine. Well, Michelle, I'm not saying it is. I'm just telling you their argument would be, look, we believe that we can collaborate better by doing this. Like
Yeah.
that's their mindset. That's how their minds work. They believe that that's called collaboration to them. You get me?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I get the concern. I do. But I want to see the plan before passing overall judgment and saying, you know what, the government are bad. They don't need to get their hands on any more assets to ruin or this or that. I actually want to see a plan. So my answer to today's question is I'm going to reserve judgment for now. I'm going to reserve judgment until I can find out what are they going to do to enhance the municipalities once they fall under the government. What are they going to do to enhance them? Once we have that answer, I think we can say, no, this is not a good move. No, it's not quite going to work out.
And and then I'm concerned, are we going to hear what we want to hear? And then once it changes, the plan changes to what the real plan is.
Well, I mean, it is politics, Sherry, so you're not far off there. Sam Cat Place says transparency is non-existent with government. They don't know what that means, she says. Yeah.
Sam Cat Place is on one today.
We have a giveaway. And by the way, folks, if you ever win something on this show, please ensure that you send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com. So Ebony Souza, you have to send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com. And then we also have we have another giveaway today. Last week's trivia. So last week's trivia, we have another winner. So hopefully people are tuned in, because if you're not tuned in, you probably will never receive your prize because you don't know you're getting it. Yeah, that's how we roll. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. I think Leanna's ready to come in. I think she wants some of this. Let's bring Lee in. Good morning, Lisa. How are you?
Good morning, everyone. I am great, like Sherry, on this Friday. Good Lord, thank you.
Love the accessory, Lee.
Thank you, Sherry. I was trying to be like you because you've been wearing cute little hairbands and stuff over the last couple of weeks. So I'm like, ooh, I want a piece of that.
Thank you.
So I went with my cute little leopard, black and white.
You had one on t-shirt?
I've had ones on before, Jamal, if you noticed.
Jamal, who you hasn't complimented the last couple weeks.
What are you talking about? Look, anyway, they ain't doing this to me today, folks. I just mind my business, come here and say morning, and
you mind your business.
Yeah, you look so nice, and then it's like, morning, Jamal. That's what they do to me. And I'm
you know what? Good morning, Jamal. It's Friday. We are happy today.
He just telling lies out of the pit of, because I gave him a compliment this morning.
Ooh. And what was the compliment, Jamal?
I'm not gonna say.
Lee, you ready for the news?
I am.
Okay, over to you. On me. They picking on me, folks.
Thanks, Jamal and Sherry. TGIF to all of you who are tuned in with us this morning. I hope everyone is having a great start to this sunny day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. In today's top stories, the island has recorded another COVID-19 death last night, pushing the pandemic death toll to 127. However, the number of active cases has dropped for the first time in several weeks. Now, there were 123 new cases logged in the latest test results and 157 recoveries, bringing the number of active cases down to 277. Now, there are 11 people now being treated in hospital, with one of them in the intensive care. The latest figures came in the wake of the announcement on Wednesday that the fourth doses of the vaccine have been approved by the government. Now, as we reported yesterday, the fourth dose booster shot was recommended for the vulnerable, including people over the age of 65, rest home residents, and anyone with a suppressed immune system. In other news, the opposition has spoken out, calling the government's proposed cannabis bill as a quote-unquote bad bill, which will only benefit suppliers of the drug. Now, speaking on the matter ahead of today's reading of the bill in the House of Assembly, Shadow Legal Affairs Minister Scott Pearman highlighted that funding had not been set aside in the government's cannabis legislation to deal with addiction problems. He claims the PLP's corporate cannabis bill was rejected by Parliament only 1 year ago, yet Premier David Burt is now bringing the very same bill yet again, no matter what you say. Now, he says nothing has changed and this bill remains a bad bill. Mr. Pearman said, quote, if you support legalizing cannabis, this is not a good bill for you. If you are against legalizing cannabis, this is not a good bill for you. The only people who will benefit from this PLP bill are those who will control importation, end quote. The Cannabis Licensing Act, which allows recreational use of the drug and sets up a regulated framework for its sale and consumption, if passed, could also set up a constitutional clash with the UK. However, the Premier has made legislation of the use and production of cannabis a flagship issue for the government. And in sports news, the senior men's Hot Peppers team at the Hamilton Parish Workmen's Club are challenging anyone out there to put their skills to the test as they host a skills showcase session this weekend. Now, the club is inviting the public to come out and support the free community event, which is taking place on Sunday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the lawn of the club. Now, all ages are welcome. So if you think you're the next Lionel Messi or Ronaldo, let's see it this weekend. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 74 and a low near 66 degrees. We will see sunshine to begin the day with a southerly breeze. Now, high pressure continues to exit to our east while maintaining dry weather across the island until tonight. However, winds will continue to increase this morning in advance of an active cold front, which will bring wet weather for most of Saturday. Now, another front then passes on Sunday with a few more showers. Cooler temperatures then set in as high pressure nudges in from the west next week. That's all for our daily hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
So it's going to be wet this weekend, huh?
Yeah, but you know what? We're going to still enjoy a sunny Friday, so don't rain on our parade, Jamal. Thank you.
I caught that. Caught that.
Got it. Oh, I did that.
Got it.
I mean, it's almost like she had known what I was going to, and I'm not liking this. Like, all right, Lee, all right.
You know, quick with it. Got to be quick with it.
Yes,
Yes.
it's very quick with it, folks. I mean, gee, let me get one over one. Sherry, what you got days of the year?
Today, the National Physicians Week starts today. It runs from March 25th to the 31st, and we can show doctors we appreciate them as much as they deserve with creative gifts, simple notes, and appreciation posts online. Doctors deal with years of school, grueling shifts, emotionally difficult decisions, and still manage to care for us and focus on kindness and health.
So shout out to the doctors out there.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to you. You don't have to charge so much, but shout out to all the doctors out there. I'm saying it's expensive, but
It
you
is.
know, there's grueling years of school, right? Lee,
Yeah.
have yourself a wonderful, restful. Let's repeat. Say it with me, Sherry.
Okay.
Restful.
Restful.
All
I
right.
will definitely.
Have a
And
good
guys,
one.
have a great weekend as well. We'll see you on Monday, God willing.
All
All
right.
right.
See you soon.
Godspeed.
All right, folks. We've got I'm looking forward to this show.
Mm-hmm.
Good ass dental oral health. Be on your best behavior, Jamal. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back with Keishae Robinson. We're talking about it's your mouth, folks.
Yes.
It's your mouth. You know how they say it's your mouth? Sometimes it's not what you say, it's what
It's your mouth.
Yeah. We'll be right back. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Most of us identify pasta with the joys of Italian food, the most popular cuisine on the planet. After all, pasta is the staple food of Italy, where hundreds of varieties are enjoyed daily. While traveling in the Far East, the founder of the Explore Cuisine company was surprised and impressed by the variety of exotic pastas he found, sampled, and enjoyed there, and resolved to bring this knowledge back to enrich the cuisine of the West. This month, we're featuring delicious Explore Cuisine organic mung bean fettuccine and black bean spaghetti. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Sherry Vanderpool, I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, if you haven't already, if you watch this show daily, even if you don't, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. All you got to do is hit subscribe, hit the like button, so that you get the notifications when we go live. So make sure you do that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and also the website. Make sure you go to our website, dailyhour.com. As soon as you go on there, you're going to be prompted to subscribe. Again, we don't send a lot of emails, but when you need to know something, when we want to pay you, find out how you can earn something. But without further ado, we have a very special guest in his house, and she is Keishae Robinson. And something tells me she has a nice smile. Let's bring her in. Good morning, Keishae. How are you?
Morning. I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, a nice smile, Sherry.
She does.
I did hear a story, Keishae, and I know you're in the dental field, but I heard this story when I was young, and they said, we got to be smarter when we choose our barbers. I'm like, what you mean? You don't go to a bald guy got a haircut. He's not got any hair. I'm like, come on, man, you can't use that. I mean, I can understand if he didn't take care of his hair, but genetics, come on. But anyway, that's the example I was given, where I know you just had to have a good smile. I mean, you work in the field. That's probably one of your priorities, right?
Definitely. Yeah. Teeth are everything.
You can't be hypocritical in your career, but let's get into it. I'm excited to have this conversation for a number of reasons. As I stated earlier before you came on, and young Black woman entering this space, and it's a wonderful thing to see. Mind you, I had a young Black hygienist when I was young. But speak to us about what made you choose this route. What made you go this route of wanting to be in dental and oral care?
From very young, I was always into teeth. Very strange. Everyone used to tease me about it, but I just loved teeth. So when I was deciding what I wanted to do, initially I actually wanted to be a dentist. So I went away to university. I was studying biology, and I got halfway through and I was just like, man, another 8 years, 7 years. So that was kind of one of the things that kind of made me switch gears a little bit, but it was always teeth. It was always going to be something with teeth.
Wow. Well, Keishae, just like Jamel, I'm excited that you're on here because I am all about the grill. I am all about this. And so as I spoke, we have Angeline Butler in the audience, and she's my dental hygienist. Yes. So I tell her all the time, I used to hate, I hate going to the dentist, ironically, but my mother took me every 6 months for as long as I can remember. And I have carried that through my adulthood. And Angeline can tell you, I'm there. I'm like, I hate being here. I'll see you in 6 months. Why are dental visits so important?
Honestly, like, your mouth is your gateway to your body. Like, I have to tell people that all the time. Like, if you don't take care of your mouth, that's the start. So I can only imagine what's going on inside.
Wow.
So it's really, really important that, you take care of the entryway, is what I call it.
Well, and it's ironic that you would say that, because what are some of the reasons you find that people don't visit the dentist?
The number one reason would be fear. People are afraid of the dentist, whether they had a bad experience when they were young or just hearing bad stories. that's the number one reason for sure.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
No, hold on. Just go a little deeper for me. So what exactly? Okay. I'm just trying. No, because I like to go into the dentist because I always knew that, you know, I felt rewarded. You know what I'm saying? I was not one of those people who was scared. I was like, and back then they didn't have what they have now, which, you know, they let you choose the flavor. You know what I'm saying? Back then it was that nasty one, right? But I always felt so clean after going to the dentist, so I was never scared. I was never in pain. It wasn't until I was an adult where I stupidly decided I was going to open beer bottles with my teeth, and then I had to go get my back tooth, sand it down, and so on. But
I see that so often.
I was irresponsible. But I only say that because I guess I'm just not understanding. Maybe both of you can explain what's the main fear that people don't go to the dentist? Like, is it pain, or like what's the main fear?
I think it's a bad experience, starting out as a bad experience when you're young. So if you're someone who was young and you had a lot of cavities, you had to get to the dentist, you know, you had to get fill-ins, so that meant needles. So that's one aspect of it. And then for whatever reason, people think it hurts. And it's like, it's just like a little needle prick. And once you're past that, you don't feel anything at all.
Okay, got you.
I wasn't traumatized. For me, it was just the feeling of the polisher. I just don't like that.
I don't like that either.
I don't like that feeling. So for me, it was that part of it. But other than that, when you talked about some of the health conditions, dive a little bit deeper into what are some of those health conditions that can occur when you don't take care of the gateway, as you said, of your mouth.
Of your body.
So many things. So the main thing that most people have heard of is like gingivitis, right? You hear that term, bleeding gums is the first thing that comes to mind. And while gingivitis is a disease, it's a reversible disease. So I like to use that as a starting point because 80% of people have bleeding gums, unfortunately, but that can progress into so many more things, more severe things that aren't reversible. So we have to catch it in that early stage so that we can make sure that you don't go past the threshold.
Wow. And in addition to that, I noticed that when I go to the dentist, they now hook you up to check your pulse, got to check your blood pressure and all of those kind of things. And I know, like you said, gingivitis, but I've also heard about just the internal part of your body that gets infected. But it makes sense, right, Keishae? Like you're eating, everything is draining back into your body, and it can't be good for your body if this is not good there.
Yeah. So if you think about it, it's just all bacteria, right? Everything is just bacteria. There's a huge link with like perio disease and gingivitis with people with heart conditions, people with diabetes, because you know the sugar in your mouth. If there's a high sugar content in your mouth, high sugar content in your body. So definitely links with your oral health and just your overall health, especially with the heart. If you have a heart condition, sometimes you have to come in for your visit and take pre-med before you have your visit.
Keishae, you could have did this rest of the 7 years, girl. You sound like
I thought about it for a long time.
She's got it. She's got it.
But go ahead, Jamal. Go ahead.
No, I just so simple questions. I think Phil is our colleague on this show, and I think he reached out to you for us. But I remember him having a tweet probably early, like it was during the pandemic, about people not flossing, right? And so I go to the dentist. They pushed me back to 6 months because I wanted to go every 4 months. And people thought it was strange. I'm just like, no, man, they see things I don't see. So they pushed me back this year to 6 months. They're like, look, just you need to be 6 months. You don't need to be coming this often. That said, last time I went, I'm like a kid. I know I'm going, so I'm flossing every 2 seconds. But so honestly, I'm not afraid to say I don't floss daily, right? I don't. And I hate bad breath. So I'm that guy that's like, oh, am I being one of those people? Am I becoming that? But how can you encourage people to understand the importance of it though?
first thing. Have you ever flossed and then smelled your floss?
All the time, and it's not a good smell.
Exactly. So if you're not doing it every day, the smell's going to get worse, and you're going to be one of those people that you're talking about with the bad breath.
But see. So my question is, like, how do you make it a priority? Because brushing your teeth after your meals or in the morning or when you go to before you go to bed, that's the easy stuff to remember. Like, how can we get to that point where flossing is as normal or natural as brushing?
So I think a shift has to happen. I think that us now, our generation, has to implement that with our children from young. It's not just brushing your teeth, it's brushing and flossing. For our generation, it's a little different because those weren't the habits we were taught. So what I do personally is I actually floss, so I water pick, but floss, water pick. I do it before I brush because you're already in the habit of brushing. So you're not going to not do it. But a lot of times you brush and you leave the bathroom, right? So if you floss first, then brush, kind of gets you in that routine of doing it daily. Because if you think about it, your teeth have multiple surfaces, 5. And your brush can only reach 3. So those 2 surfaces in between where your teeth are, you're not getting them. And it's bacteria is just piling up.
Well, Keishae, unlike Jamal, I floss daily. I also use the little soft picks that go in between my teeth. I also peroxide with the water pick, and I am a charcoal brush teeth. I know that probably doesn't really mean anything, but I am that person, unlike Jamal. So outside of brushing your teeth, what are some tips some tips we can use to improve and maintain good health? And I would say that's due to my dental hygienist, like Sherry, like your gums are bleeding, you need to do something. So that encouragement from persons like yourself is very important for somebody like me.
So what was the question again?
My question was, outside of brushing teeth, what are some of the tips we can use to improve or maintain good dental health?
So I actually used to work in a pediatric office. And so I came up with this little trick, I guess. I call it the 3 T's. And as I've moved on and now I'm in a general practice, I still use it because adults need it too. So it's the 3 T's. The first one is time. A lot of people brush their teeth for 20 seconds. That's not enough. You need a full 2 minutes. Like 20 seconds, you're going to leave behind so much because plaque is very sticky. So going over it once, you're not going to get it. The second one would be technique. A lot of us do this kind of scrubbing motion, and that's not ideal. It's not the best way to brush. Small circles generally is better because you get your teeth as well as your gum line, which is really important because that's where the plaque starts. And then your tools. So electric toothbrushes are nice and they're beneficial. So yeah, manuals can get the job done, but if you can get an electric, then it makes a difference.
You know what's interesting, Keishae? Before the pandemic, I actually used to brush my teeth at work, right? So like after lunch, I've been that way, right? I've been that way. But for some reason, I haven't done it since like the pandemic because just the hygiene feel and the weirdness of it. Like, is there anything like any instead of brushing your teeth replacements you can do when you have that? Like, is there like, I know people do for like bad breath, they'll put those things on their tongue, their strips or whatnot, but is there something we can do when we feel like we're just in a less hygienic space to brush during that period of time?
So you're saying like during the day?
Yeah, like instead of brushing my teeth in the bathroom at work, like I just don't feel the same about it since the pandemic.
I get what you're saying. To be perfectly honest, you only need to brush twice a day. So the midday brush is kind of like a preference thing.
Okay.
The nighttime brush is the most important brush, believe it or not. A lot of people brush in the morning and don't brush at night. But the nighttime brush, because if you think all the food you've consumed during the day, the sugar, everything like that, and then you're going to sleep for 8 hours uninterrupted, where the bacteria can just do its thing. So the nighttime brush is the most important. Rinsing during the day, I mean to remove, kind of rinsing with a little Listerine or peroxide, but it's the morning and the night. That's really gonna.
And hold on,
matter.
I don't want nobody taken from what she just said and be like, okay, I brushed last night. I don't have to brush.
No.
Going out
For
in
real.
public thinking about, oh, well, she said, no, folks. No,
No.
she just said,
It's
not-
the most important, but
Important.
it's not the
she
exactly.
said nothing about leaving the house in the morning without
Twice a day.
Twice a day. We got a lot of comments coming and questions. Shika Raina's asking, is tongue scraping a fad or necessary? Speak on it.
Let's talk about this. Okay. I love my tongue scraper. I water pick, I brush, I tongue scrape. It's got to be done. You have to clean your tongue. That's where the bacteria, like if you look at a person's tongue and it's white, it's not nice. It's bacteria. That's all it is. And it makes your breath smell.
All
So
right.
yes, it's not a fad. It's not use them.
Tongue
There's a correct way to use them. You don't want to apply too much pressure.
Yeah.
But if you're consistent with it and you're using it every day, you don't need to.
Have you used one before, Jamal? I'm not being funny.
No, I haven't.
No.
It's.
I mean,
it
some
feels
people
so
use their
nice.
toothbrush.
Yeah.
People use their toothbrush.
I use the rubber on. I always use toothbrush with the rubber on back up, but I
Yeah.
spend as much time on my tongue as I do brushing my teeth, though, my upper mouth. And I remember telling my boys, especially those ones who were into that tongue ring stuff back then. I'm like, bruh, you gotta brush the tongue and upper mouth like that. Come on, that's part of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the situation. Teresa Stewart, she says, keep educating the public on Twitter about dental hygiene in case we need this content. Seriously, like I was like, yo, like she's always got something up, and I didn't know you, so I don't just reach out to people I don't know. But I'm grateful for it because a young person who's using the platform to kind of push something that our community doesn't traditionally think about. Like again, we brush, but we don't understand the importance beyond probably looking a certain way. We don't understand all that goes to it in reference to Shara's question. Shana Smith says, how often should we change our toothbrush? Woo, here we go.
Woo, that's a good question.
You should be changing your toothbrush every 3 months, unless, say you get sick or something, like you have COVID or the flu, then you can change it at that time as well, like after you're feeling better. But every 3 months. So I change mine with the seasons. It's just easier.
Keishae, thank you for that. People having COVID and different things, like throw it out afterwards. Like don't keep the COVID brush.
Sure. Don't keep the COVID brush.
Sure.
I'm listening.
No, I was just gonna ask. Like, you've asked me a question. So
yes, Jamal.
When's the last time you changed your brush?
Earlier part of this week, actually.
Oh, okay. I'm with Keishae. I'm on seasons, folks. So it's time for a new brush. Last time I changed my brush was January, so it's time.
Yeah, it's spring. I was like, it's spring right now.
I do get. I'm like you. I do change every 3-4 months, though.
Yeah.
I didn't even think seasons, but I do because number one, so I think having toothbrush in a bathroom is unsanitary, especially if there's no cover.
I have a cover.
I want you to speak on that because, especially if you're having something at your house and your toothbrush, they're all out, people are using your bathroom. I'm like, I go in the bathroom, I'm like, please cover that. Please cover it. I almost want to put towels over it to cover it. But speak about how unsanitary that is.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, and a lot of people don't close the toilet seat when they flush, so that's one aspect. But yes, you should always cover the head of your toothbrush. Or you can buy them separately. A lot of electric toothbrushes come with the little plastic covers. So definitely want to do that because
I'm a cover too, Jamal. Yeah.
It's cover or not, and seriously, like if I leave my,
if you can pack it away, that's even better. Like,
so it's covered and it's in my travel case. Now mine I put on the head and put in my travel case, but I no longer keep it up where people kept their stuff. Shika Rain is asking, how often do clients take mild sedators for dental cleaning appointments? I know a handful of folks do this, and it surprised me. Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing.
I mean, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but that's some people's routine. Like they have to be sedated because of the anxiety or the fear. Yeah, it's not many, but it's definitely not uncommon. It happens for sure.
I just go in and being rude. I say, okay, let's get this over with.
I'm learning a lot today. I'm honestly, I didn't think. So, yeah, I never
Me
considered
either.
that. Thanks for that question. Philip Trott says going to the hygienist is not my favorite experience, but I'd rather see them have to go to rather see them than to have to go to the dentist for major work and ounce of prevention, as they say. That's my motivation. Shayna Smith asking, can the water pick floss, or can the water pick replace floss, or should you do both?
Definitely, it can replace as long as you're using it correctly. Then yes, it's actually better because it can get deeper into the pocket. Sorry, deeper into the pocket than floss can. So yeah, and floss is very technique sensitive. So I even have a lot of patients who do really try to floss, and then they come in. I'm like, "Have you been flossing?" They're like, "Yes, every day. I've been really trying." So it's the technique behind it. So the water pick's a little easier to
And
work with.
I have. Go ahead, Jamal.
We've got I think we answered that question, but David Michael R. Wilson's asking, what's a good denture cleaning technique / recommendations?
So with dentures, you never want to sleep in them. You always want to take them out at night because you want to let your gum tissue breathe. So you take them out, you drop them in some water. They have the little effervescent, like the Polydent cleaning tablets. Give them a little brush, rinse them off, and then put them in there either overnight or for a few hours or whatever.
All right.
I was gonna say, and I do it, but is there a real big difference between the string floss and the sword floss? Yeah.
So the string is definitely a better option because with the string you can manipulate it and kind of change the direction and the shape. Whereas with the little picks, they kind of only go up and down. So you'll miss more with the picks than you will with the string. So the string I always recommend for like food removal. Like if you're out and you have a little chicken in your teeth, fine. But when you get home, you still want to use that floss and go in between and manipulate and move so you kind of really get everything out.
Nicole Walker's asking, is a flossing toothbrush an effective enough tool, or should you do each separately?
So there's this new fad. It's called a Sonic Fusion, I believe. So it's an electric toothbrush and a water pick essentially combined. I haven't used one. I do have a few patients who do use them. So I can't speak on it. I would say that.
Alrighty.
They claim they work, so I don't know.
Okay, last question here. Akina McGowan, she's asking, what are the education requirements for RDH? And just explain what RDH is for those who might not know.
So RDH is a registered dental hygienist. So the requirements depends. You can get a full bachelor's in dental hygiene, or you can get an associate's. So they have 2-year programs or they have 4-year programs.
Okay.
The 2 years are just condensed, obviously, from but you get the same degree at the end.
All righty. Real quickly, final question as you head out. Someone who is hasn't been to the dentist in a while, they have dental insurance. What would you say to encourage them to take advantage of their dental health overall over oral care?
There's so many people that have insurance and don't use it. I don't understand. Don't be afraid, because like I said, a lot of it is fear. Like I ask people all the time, when was your last appointment? 8, 10, 15 years ago. Like it happens all the time. And don't be afraid. There's no judgment. We want to help you. We want to get you in a healthy state. Like I love it. Like I have some people, 8 years, come in. Let's do this. You haven't seen a dentist in 8 years. It's going to be so fun for me. So there's no judgment. We just want to help. Literally, that's why we're here. Like we want to educate you. We want to do all those things. So just come.
And how can people get in touch with you or follow you and get some more dental advice?
I'm on Instagram, my personal page, Keishae_XX. I do have a teeth bleaching company, so I do that as well on the side. And that's Bleach by Keishae. But there's requirements, and not anyone can just get the teeth bleached. You gotta be in good dental health standards. So, but yeah, I'm on Twitter, and I'm always open to answering questions. King Zoya, Kingzoya.
All right, King Zoya. honestly, thank you so much for coming and having this
Thank you, guys.
conversation. I think it's something that we don't discuss as much. I don't think I've ever heard anyone discuss dental health on a talk show in Bermuda. I know we speak about so many different ailments that, as a community we face, but I'm glad that you said what you said about the entry to our body. Like,
Mhm.
why would we not want to make sure we take care of that as much as we do the other organs in
Absolutely.
our body? So thank you, Keishae, and we'll definitely
Thank
be in touch
you.
with you. Have a
Thank
great
you,
day.
Keishae.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
This was great. Thank you so much.
Now I feel like I know I don't just follow people.
Yes,
She's
follow
bottom
me,
business.
follow me.
I can follow her and make sure I share her stuff. Thank you, Keishae, and thanks to our
Thanks,
colleagues.
guys. Have a good day.
You
too.
too.
All right, you know what to do, folks. Give her a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share those kind of conversations. Thanks again to Phil, our colleague, who I was like, Phil, do you know this young lady? Can you reach out to her? I want to get her on. Sherry, I'd be like, Sherry, this person you recommended for the show, because she recommends every guest at this point. No, honestly, I'm really grateful that Keishae trusted our platform to have the conversation. Very informative, as Nachika Trott has stated right here.
Yeah.
Please share these conversations. Dental health, your oral health, folks. You want to take care, as she said, that she couldn't have said it any better. The place where things enter your body.
The gateway.
The gateway. That's what she said. The
Mhm.
gateway. Let's get it right. And I'm vulnerable. Yeah, man. I forget to floss every day. But see, brothers, I know you all thought it, but no, I'm not perfect. I know you thought it. I'm not perfect. I'm not. We all get it wrong sometimes. Look, we're going to take a quick break because you're judging me now. We're going to take a quick break. We have another giveaway today, and Shara's going to give us some good, bad, and ugly from the week, and we'll wrap it up. But thanks again to Keishae Robinson. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere if you want to be this week's winner. Stick with us.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. Sherry Vanderpool, I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour. Thanks again to One Communications, People's Pharmacy, Medicals, and Lindo's. And thanks again to Keishae Robinson for coming on and speaking to us about oral and dental health. Important. And hey, folks, if you know it ain't happening, just talk like this here. Just talk like this here. If you know it ain't happening. Sherry, you've got some good, bad, the ugly for us?
I do. My good is that I exercised quite a few days this week, so I am very excited about that. Thank you. And, I encourage everybody to do so. Bad is we can't continue to deal with this senseless violence on our island, and that definitely needs to change, and we need to put some things towards that. What's ugly? I don't know about this whole education system. Is about to get real and ugly, but I'm here for it. I want to see what's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm going to add some good in that real quickly. Another good is our new sister on the team.
Yes.
Let's throw some love to the Sensta.
But it's written in here. And Sancha being our new co-host on the show is exciting. That's what I wrote.
Yeah, well, I think Sherry is, overly excited. She don't have to be so excited because she's talking about, oh yes, Sherry's my girl. Oh, boy. Yeah. Sherry, look, what are your final thoughts on today's show?
My final thoughts on today's show is, of course, we just need to know what the government plan is, and we can move forward as it pertains to the city of Hamilton and St. George's. As far as Keishae, please check her out. Look at her Twitter, her content, her tips. The mouth is the gateway to the body. And, let's not forget your trivia after this, Jamal.
Oh, I forgot. I've got this. You know what I'm saying? But no, I definitely would love more information about the government's plans for the municipalities. As far as Keishae, folks, we've got to do our job. Let's not look at doctors or health as a thing when something goes wrong. Let's be proactive and start with our gateway. Let's go, Sherry. What you got for me? I'm ready.
What boy?
It's the Heineken.
Sorry.
Daily play, folks. Brought to you by Heineken 0.0, great taste, no alcohol. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready.
Okay, 3 questions. What band included JC Shazaz and Lance Bass?
Lance Bass? Was that
Bass?
In sync.
Okay, good job. What year did Princess Diana perish in Paris traffic crash? What year?
That would be 1996 or 7.
Which one?
I'm going to go with 7.
Okay. And what 90s film had the soundtrack that became the best-selling one of all time? Come on, Jamal.
90s film?
90s film.
Titanic had that My Heart Goes On. That was huge. And then we had Soul Food, which was Babyface. That was pretty huge.
Yeah. Really? Come on.
Soundtrack movie?
Yes.
You got me there, Sherry.
The Bodyguard.
Whitney, man, how I didn't get that?
I was so sure you was gonna get that.
Love you. I'm every woman, man. How did I
Out
not
of
get that?
all of them, I was like, he's gonna get that one. I didn't think he was gonna get the boy band, to be honest.
Sherry, didn't I tell you I'm not perfect? Didn't I tell you? I know you all have these high expectations. You know what I'm saying? I know. But everybody, it looks like everybody else had it.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't, because you got Dolly Parton last week or whenever time I did that one.
Yeah. Whatever. I guess I need some daily inspiration after that.
Yeah,
no,
you do.
Not yet. Let's do this. We've got to give away. So last weekend's question, we've got to do it. So last weekend's question was about which one of the Bermudian Olympians below has never appeared on the show. Was it A, Couture Horton, Parent Chief? No, Couture's been on the show. Was it B, Flora Duffy? Nope, Flora Duffy's been on the show. Was it C, Devon Bean? Or D, Troy Douglas?
Devon Bean.
Devon Bean is the Olympian who has not been on the show, and it seems like everyone went with that, and our draw brought out. I don't know if he's won before. David Michael R. Wilson, so he's this week's winner. So congratulations to him. He's getting a gift card for One Communications. So let's give him applause.
All right, David.
So he is this week's winner. So, folks, all you got to do is make sure you're following us on social media. Make sure you're subscribed to the website, subscribe to YouTube, and you'll see what this weekend's question is going to be, and for a chance to win next week's prize. I like this. How about you?
Yeah, I do too. I missed that question on the platforms, but I knew the answer. I knew it weren't Devon.
She actually knew the answer. What's the daily inspiration, Sherry? Since you know everything.
Courage doesn't mean you don't get afraid. Courage means you don't let fear stop you. And that's from Bethany Hamilton.
Don't let the fear stop you from getting your teeth checked, getting your mouth checked, getting that gateway taken care of. Lose the fear. I think that was right.
I like that. Yeah.
We have a big week next week, folks. So you don't want to miss next week's shows. Make sure if you haven't already, subscribe. Thanks again to our partners, Medical Wells, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you on Monday. My friends, please do make it a safe and great weekend. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm just Jamal Hartman. Have a good one.